So shop vacs are an essential staple for every shop, whether that's a woodworking shop, a metal shop, a concrete shop, a hobby shop, whatever it is, you have a shop vac. It's pretty much essential. But there's one huge problem with them. They're obnoxiously loud. And they're probably one of the most annoying noises over a long period of time that I can think of.
Right where I left her yesterday. Sure is quiet outside. Would be a shame if somebody had to blow some leaves. You're still sleeping! I'm still sleeping!
So let's fix that. And to fix it, we're just gonna build a simple soundproof box using just 2 sheets of 1/2-inch particle board and just some foam soundproof panels. For the actual soundproofing, I got these. Now I got 2 different kinds of sound absorption pads because they do 2 different kind of things. These ones are for the actual sound absorption and making it more soundproof. These are the 2-inch thick ones. They're really, really good, but they are a little pricey. That's why I got these ones as well. So these ones are really good for taking out sound vibrations. It kind of dampens the sound a little bit, but doesn't make it soundproof. These are a lot cheaper. So what I'm going to use with these is I'm just going to put it on the floor and kind of jam them anywhere I can get it in there just for a little bit of extra protection. Now when you order these and get them, you got to prep them. And by that, I mean you got to do this. So you have to leave them all laid out like this just so they kind of floof up. Now the 2-inch ones, the ones that have the little triangles on them like this, that's all you have to do with these. You just open them out of the pack, throw them on the ground. These have been sitting out here for like 2 days, fully floofed up. These, on the other hand, are a little bit different. What you have to do with these is open them up, soak them in hot water, wring them out, then put them in a dryer for, I don't know, a half hour or so, then leave them lay out, because then they'll floof up. If you just take them out, throw them on the ground, and just wait for them to floof up, they won't do it that well. Some will, some won't, but you gotta get them nice and wet. Throw them in the dryer and then they'll expand. Okay, so I got my 4 sides and my top laid out right here. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the scraps I have off the 2 sheets of 1/2-inch plywood and I'm actually gonna glue it to these. Because the thicker I can make the walls and the top, the better soundproofing is gonna be. So after all of that's done, all you gotta do is just build a simple box. But there's one thing I need to show you, and it's this part right here. So when the shop vac is discharging all of its exhaust or air, it's gotta go somewhere in here. So you don't wanna just have a big open spot because all the sound's gonna get out of there. It's gonna defeat the whole entire purpose of this. So what you need to create is kind of like a baffle. So what's gonna happen is the exhaust comes out of here, comes up through here, over here, and out a small crack in the back. Now while it's traveling all that way, there's a ton of sound foam in here, which is gonna completely kill the sound, but it's gonna let the air out. So a better illustration of it, the exhaust will come out, it's gonna fill up the box, but then it's gonna travel down this area right here. You see there's a small gap, so it's gonna be squished down in through there, and then the sound and air will bounce off the walls on the inside, down through here, and escape out the back. And that's all the gap you need. You don't need a huge gap in there to let all the air out. It will escape just fine. Now from all my research, the more baffles you have, the better it's gonna be. Because if you have this area all through here in the top 100% soundproof, but you still have to let the air out somewhere, you're allowing the sound to get out as well. So you want a lot of baffles in there to absorb as much sound as you can. Now I just put 1 in here because this thing's already starting to get huge, but if you have a smaller shop vac or a lot more room, then put 2, 3, 4 of them in there and it's just gonna work even better. But I just got the 1 in there. We're gonna see how well that one works. But for now, all I gotta do is finish the top, put it on, finish the door, which I'm having come down this way so I have easy access to the vac because it's going back into that little cubby hole. So if I have the door open left or right, it might get blocked or something. If I were to have it come up, it'd be too hard to get to the back. So if I just have it drop down, I think it's gonna work perfect. So I'll just get that finished up and we'll start doing a bunch of different tests. So these do have a sticky back, but I am really glad I had that spray glue because it's not really that great. So if you are going to do this, just make sure you have a bottle of that around. Okay, so the top is on, everything's done. Let me show you how it's actually going to work. So the dust stopper is just going to sit right on top of the box. It's going to be hooked up to the dust collection system here. Here is the vacuum inlet line that comes down through here, through there, down through the box, and it's going to connect directly to the vacuum via right here. And I also have the power cord running up through that same hole. Now I definitely will be tweaking this around a little bit, like moving it around, seeing which way works best. I might even end up taking the dust stopper in a bucket, putting it somewhere else, maybe running a pipe out the side. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this is the main setup. You get the idea of how it's gonna work. But now if you're also thinking like, ooh, I have 90-degree angles on here, I'm ruining it. Nope, I proved it in this video right here that 90-degree angles on just the vacuum line make no difference whatsoever. Okay, so the first test we're gonna do is a decibel test. I downloaded this free decibel app, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it's gonna give us a good idea. So here's what the test is gonna do. I'm gonna turn the vacuum on, it's gonna be running, and so we can see exactly how loud it is outside the box. And while it's still running, I'm gonna put it in the box, close it up so we can see and hear the difference. So, let's get this started.
All right, this baby is powerful. Cover your ears because it has no muffler.
What? Not bad. Also, something I want to point out that I think is helping a lot too are these latches. I got these on Amazon. They're basically tension latches, I guess. I'm not really sure. But basically you just can hook it on here, adjust the screw, which will pull it nice and tight. I'll leave a link for these down in the description. They're perfect. Okay, next test is temperature. I am slightly worried about this overheating inside that box, so what I'm gonna do is test it. And how I'm gonna do that is I have this dual temp meat thermometer, so I have one probe on the motor and one probe going into the muffler. Which, by the way, I strongly suggest getting a muffler for your shop vac. I love this thing. It does nothing for noise reduction, but what it does is it kind of dissipates or slows down the airflow that's coming out of the back of your vacuum, so it's not blowing crap all over the place. Especially if you're gonna put this inside of a box, I would strongly suggest getting yourself a muffler. But what I'm gonna do is let this run for 15 minutes, just sitting here out like this, and then I'm gonna stick it in the box and run it for another 15 minutes to see if there is a temperature change. Okay, so that was the control. The motor stayed at exactly 68 degrees. The exhaust was 82. Now into the box and let's see if there's a difference. Shit. Okay, so you saw there was a definite jump in temperature there. But if you notice, it kind of climbed pretty fast there for the first couple of minutes, and then, I don't want to say plateaued, but really slowed down on the climb and just kind of trickled up a little bit. So with that being said, I'm not overly concerned with it. It's something I'm definitely going to keep an eye on. I am going to keep a temperature probe in there so I can keep an eye on it. But it wasn't really hot enough or climbing fast enough to the point that I thought this is going to be a catastrophic failure. So I say all in all, the soundproofing box works great. Temperature is something you might want to keep an eye on. Other than that, I love it. It's definitely changed my shop for the better. But if you're watching this and you've done something with soundproofing and you figured out how to keep the temperature down, let me know, drop it in the comments. Or if you have any ideas how to keep the temperature within range, let me know. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and if you want, jump over to my Etsy site. I do have some new stickers in there. They're pretty cool. Check those out, I'd really appreciate it. But until next time, see you everyone later.